Now let's calculate number of odd days. How to calculate number of odd days? Okay, come to the board. See, normally we have two types of years. So one is what? One ordinary year. Ordinary year. Okay. Then leap year. Okay. Normally two types of years. One is ordinary year, another is leap year. You know. So ordinary year, you know how many days? 365 days. Okay. 365 days. So just divide that number of days. That means 365 divided by 7. Okay, that means see 7 into, it is written as 7 into 52 plus 1. 7 into 52 plus 1. That means 7 into, that means 52 complete weeks. 52 complete weeks plus extra days, 1 extra day. So this is called odd day. This is called odd day. That means in one ordinary year, how many number of odd day? 1 odd day. Because when you divide it by 7, you find 52. That means 52 complete weeks plus remainder. Always you find the remainder. Okay, remainder is considered as the what? Odd days. Then one leap year. Similarly, 366 days. Okay. So 366 days means 7 into 52 plus 2, right? So when you divide 366 by 7, you find 52 as the quotient. That means 52 complete weeks plus remainder. 2 is your remainder part. Okay. So hence here number of odd days equals to 2. That means just keep in your mind, in one ordinary year, how many number of odd days? 1. In one leap year, how many number of odd days? 2. Right. Now consider what do you mean by leap year. Leap year means, very important it is. So how to identify leap year? So you know any year is divided by what? By divisible by 4, then it is called leap year, but it is partially correct. I think you just write 2 lines. The centuries. Okay, so centuries, that means centuries means the multiple of 100. For example, 2000, right? The century, right? So any year which are centuries, that means a multiple of 100. If it is divisible by what? Divisible by 400. Divisible by 400. Okay, that means the remainder becomes 0. Then it is called leap year. It is called leap year. Any centuries by any years which is a multiple of 100, if it is divisible by 400, then it is called leap year. Second, any year which is not a leap year. Suppose 1984. 1984. You take another example, 1984. It is not a century, right? It is not a century. But if it is not a century, first of all check it is a century or not. If it is a century, then you try to divide it by 400. If it is divisible by 400, then it is called leap year. Okay. So now this is not a century. So try to divide it by 4. Okay. So if it is divisible by 4, so obviously it is divisible by 4 because the last 2 digit is divisible by 4. So your remainder becomes 0. So this is called what? Leap year. Okay, don't be confused. The first point, any year which is a century, if it is divisible by 400, we can say it is a leap year. Okay, if it is not divisible by, suppose 1900, okay, 1900, okay, it is a century or not? So try to divide it by 400, but it is not divisible by 400, then it is not a leap year. It is not a leap year. Okay, 1900 is not a leap year. 2000 is a leap year because it is divisible by 400. Okay, the next concept, the year which is not a century, 1984 is not a century because it is not a multiple of 100. So if it is divisible by 4, then it is called leap year. Okay, suppose 1982. Okay, 82. So it is not divisible by 4. That means the remainder part is not 0. So it is not a leap year. As 84 is a leap year, but 82 is not a leap year. Okay, so in this way you just check which year is a leap year or not. Okay, it is very important in case of calendar. And when you find the year is a leap year, you consider the month of February consists of how many days? 29 days. Right? You consist of, that means the month of February consists of how many days? Instead of 28, 29 days. Okay. So very important point. These are very important point. And last point is every century is not a leap year. For example, 100, 200, 300. Okay. So these are the centuries. These are the centuries. But this is not multiple of 400. Hence, this is not a leap year. So I have 3 points. In case of leap year, the centuries which are divisible by 400 is called leap year. The year which is not a century, if divisible by 4, is called leap year. And every century is not a leap year. For example, 100, 200, 300, and 1900, etc. And the last point is, in case of a leap year, the month of February consists of 29 days. Okay. In case of ordinary year, the month of February consists of 28 days. And another point is there, every 4 years there is a leap year. Every 4 years there is a leap year. Okay. So keep all the points in your mind. And now we solve some questions.